There's several points that I want to make tonight, and I want to leave, when you leave here, I want you to feel good about why you're here. So let's start with this. It's time for a new direction with the fiscal court. There's no question about it. It's time to make some changes. And as county judge, I'm going to do that. The very first thing to me, as being part of fiscal court, that needs to happen is we need to be more transparent. There's a lot, thank you, I appreciate that you're exactly right. There have been a lot of things that have happened, and I'm not going into that. Tonight it's not about anybody else other than me. But I'm going to say this right up front, and I've introduced my family and I've introduced some relatives. You will not get a job in my administration because you're kin to me. Those days are over. That will end. Some of you commented tonight and were at a meeting a while back when we had a representative come to court and talk about the pipeline. And what a mess. And that meeting made me really think about how we run fiscal court. I think we need to do a better job of listening to the public. There were this many people in a small room wanting to speak and had a million questions, and they weren't allowed to speak. And that's not right, and that will not happen again, and it will not happen under my term as county judge. There's an area that I think as we go along, let me just say right up front, I don't think we have to raise taxes to get revenue in this community. I don't think that's the important issue. There are a lot of issues, and I'm going to talk about those. So if we will be conservative in our spending, and we will do the things we need to do economically towards economic development, I hope that we never have to do any more than take the compensating rate, and that will be my goal during my 4 years, that we never take the 4% and we just hold with the compensating rate. I hope we can do that, and we're going to work hard to make sure that takes place during my administration. One area to me that I know that we can save money, and I'm going to talk about several of them, but I know we can save money. I know this can happen. Because actually the county lost several $1 million because of this. Both the city and the county have insurance premium taxes. And the insurance premium taxes are paid by you through your insurance companies. Your insurance companies then send that money to what they think are the local government. So if you live in the city, they think they're sending it to the city government. Or if you live in the county, they think they're sending it to the county. Franklin County government lost more than $2 million. We don't really know how much we lost, but at least $2 million. We've gotten some of it back because insurance companies were sending the premiums to the city as opposed to the county. We can eliminate this right off the bat and I think they're willing, if the city and the county will sit down and pool this money where it all goes into one pot. And I don't care whether it goes to the city or it goes to the county. But what I do care is that the county will get its fair share and the city will get its fair share. Nobody loses money, and we all gain because we're all getting the money. It's time. This, to me, is the key to my tenure as a county judge. We, as a community, have to become a business-friendly community. We have to be business-friendly. The stories that are out there, and we're going to talk about a couple of them in a few minutes, but it's a shame. I want to start meetings. The way we're going to do this is from day one. And Jill and I have talked about this for a long time. We need to meet with industry. We need to bring them together. We need to bring business leaders together. We need to bring SECETA, which is our economic development group sponsored by the county and the city, the Chamber of Commerce representatives. And all of us need to get in the same room together, and we need to start discussing on how we make this community a business-friendly community. That's us working together with everybody. That has to happen. It's time. I want to tell you this story, and this is partly why I think this is so important. Several months back, probably more closer to a year, I admit I'm one, and I know several of you are too, but I like my beer. I like to drink beer. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's good. Neville White will attest to that a little bit too. But anyway, a company, think about this. If you don't know this story, this will amaze you. A company that is a micro brewer, and you know what that is. That's where they make their own beer, and they have a restaurant, and they have actually it was like a sports bar too. All the TVs and stuff wanted to come to downtown Frankfort. They came in and they talked with our chamber. They talked, and the chamber was great. They talked with the city, and they had some problems, and they turned it down. And unfortunately, here's what they had to say about us, and this is very hurtful. They said, "We are a small town with small minds." And that's a quote that I heard from somebody from the chamber. That's sad. That's why it's time for new leadership. You know, I'm like you. I get excited when I read in the paper, if I don't already know about it, when the Parkside development, when I read that Dick's Sporting Goods and all the retail shops, several other retail shops, and especially restaurants. I think restaurants are the coolest thing to make your city vibrant when you see the restaurants full, and they are full. But I get excited just like all of you when that happens. And I'm going to tell you this right now. I will work with every entity possible to make sure that we get new retail and that we get new restaurants in this community. And you will be happy after 4 years of what we'll have here. I'm very, very, very much going to work hard on that. Thank you. There's another thing that I think is absolutely imperative. As we bring businesses in, we have to support those businesses. So here's what I'm going to propose to the county, and I hope you as city leaders will take it back to the city. This is what I think we should do to keep business in Frankfort. When it comes to our businesses, when it comes to bidding, I think local businesses should get a 10% preferential bonus. The state does that. Thank you, Sally. You're exactly right. The state is doing that now. So our local businesses should get the same thing. And we should make sure, if that is the case, that if they go against somebody that's out of town and they fall within that 10% bonus, they get the jobs. Let's keep our businesses busy here in Frankfort. I see John Arnett, one of the strongest advocates for recreation in this community, not just tennis, and he is the chairperson of tennis for Franklin County, but for all recreation. And several of us in this room attended a meeting, and you talk about some dire stats. This gentleman's name was Brad Thomas. Brad Thomas came and spoke to both governments and to the public about the swim play facility. And Brad Thomas brought out a point that really, this was the deciding factor in me running, that makes you really think about leadership in this community and where we're heading in this community. He said that Frankfort was just, over the next 10 years, was just barely going to edge out Owen County in growth over the next 10 years. Only Owen County. Lawrenceburg, Versailles, Shelby County, Scott County were all going to grow. Several of them by at least 15% over what they are right now. We're not growing. We need to grow. With effective leadership, with working together as a community, working with both the city and the county, we can make this happen, and we will make this happen. And that, to me, is one of the most important things that I can do as county judge. I want you to know that if you don't know, I am a advocate for recreation. And by the way, I see one of my great friends who represents the 6th District Magistrate, Lambert Moore, is here. Lambert, thank you for being here. Lambert is a great guy, great guy. As a matter of fact, Charles Smith, tennis player, myself, and Greg Higgins was here a few minutes ago. We were playing in a state tournament in Henderson, Kentucky. And by the way, if you have any of you seen the riverfront in Henderson? It's unbelievable. It is absolutely unbelievable. And we need to change, and we need to work that way. Henderson is a small town, but it has a beautiful riverfront, and we're going to work towards that. I promise you, we are going to work towards that. But as I see Steve Brooks here, and I wanted, as I brought up my tennis friends, we were playing in a state tennis tournament in Henderson, and a couple of the guys that we were playing is 55 and over. I'll let you know that we're over 55, but anyway, and the guys that we were playing from Louisville, and we were actually running the ball down and working very hard. And so they said to Charles and Greg and myself, they said, wait a minute, are you sure you're 55? Yeah, we're 55, and we're proud of it, and we're in shape, and we love recreation. And I think recreation is a very important aspect in community development and community health and welfare. I'm going to push very hard for recreation in this community. I think that's important. Under this administration, here's what we're going to do. We're going to start from day one, and Steve Brooks is the model for this, because I know this used to happen with Steve, and it still does partly. I'm not criticizing any parks department, but we need more of this. Our parks departments need to be working together as things go throughout the city. There's talking about swimming pools and all that. This community doesn't need to be having one government go this way and one government go that way. We need to be working together, do a needs assessment, and work on the same page to develop recreation with what is needed in this community. I'm going to work hard on that. I'm going to make sure that happens. My wife has said it's time to end it, so I'm going to say this. I'm going to summarize what I'm all about. I'm all about open government. I'm all about economic development. There are going to be lots of discussion, and this administration Somebody asked me what I thought my strengths were, and I'll say this. My top strength, I think, is I'm a listener. And I'm going to bring all the entities together and I'm going to listen. We don't have to make decisions right off the bat, but we need to know the problems, and then we can work together on how to solve that. That's what's going to happen under this administration. I promise you this. I will give you everything I've got. And as I said, somebody was questioning whether I was 55 or not, thought I was younger. I have the energy of, I'll go 40. I won't go 30, but 45. I have a lot of energy, and I intend to use this energy to make this a better community for all of us. As I see these my grandchildren, and I see young children around here, and Michelle, you know this from the school board, the young kids are what this is all about. We have to make sure that this community has the jobs and the resources so when these kids leave our school system and go to work or go to college, and they have jobs to come back to. And that's what this is all about. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a hard campaign, a very, very hard campaign. There are going to be 4 of us in the race that will be in the primary, and then there'll be at least 1 on the other side going into the general. I need your help. I want your support, and I think we can make a difference, and I intend to make a difference. Thank you for being here tonight.